Duncan from WeatherWatchTV on YouTube with your 7-day Australia-only forecast. We've got a potential tropical cyclone for Western Australia, tropical lows to the north, plenty of showers along the eastern seaboard, and some cooler autumn air for those of you in the south. Let's have a look and see what's going on at the moment. Low pressure is all in the dark shading. That is the low off Western Australia that might turn into a tropical cyclone. It's looking likely at this stage. High pressure down to the south, that's encouraging cooler airflows at the moment. Places like Rosebery and Queenstown, only around 14 to 16 degrees today, and your overnight low tonight is just 4. So that's certainly a cooler airflow at the moment for you. Further up though, around ACT, places like Greenway, you're 28 degrees today. So much warmer once you go a little bit further up. Let's take a look at the rainfall. This is for the next 7 days around Australia. So the areas with the heaviest rain in this line around like that. So in the pink purple shading and the darker blue, that's where you're 100, 150 millimeters and even 200 millimeters, places like up here around across to, the far north of Queensland over towards Darwin and Katherine. Then that heavy rain slides down the western coastline and goes offshore, just away from Broome. I've heard about the dome, the dry dome in Broome, where weather seems to move around you, and it certainly seems that way at the moment. Now this storm could come in and bring heavier rain as it goes further down here. There could be up to 200 millimetres over the next week between Kalgoorlie and Perth there on Highway 94. So that's a lot of rain falling around that area. Let's take a look at the hottest days of the next 7. We've got Canberra on 28 degrees today, Sydney into the 30s, especially out west. Over the weekend, Adelaide's turn both days to be at 32, Perth only on Saturday. And then Monday next week, Melbourne's up to a close to 30 degrees, and Hobart, look at you, 26. Make the most of it, because Hobart, I've got to point out, you're 17 degrees Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday next week, and you might even be cooler than that 1 week from now on next Thursday. Adelaide, 23 degrees for today and next Wednesday. Tomorrow in Canberra, 19 degrees. That's a bit cooler than you've got today. And Sydney's down to 22. But look at Perth, your lowest temperature for maximum is 27, which is still pretty hot next week. And then Wednesday, Melbourne's turn to drop down to 19. So here we are on Friday. We've got that low off the coast of Broome. It's slowly deepening, a bit of heavy rain up here. For the most part, the tropical north actually doesn't look too bad for Friday. Along the eastern side, get used to this. Airflows coming out of the Tasman Sea, helping keep your temperatures down a bit, and certainly cloudier and showery, not exactly peak weather at the moment. Hobart and parts of Tasmania, a couple of showers around the coastal zones, nothing too big in there. Wollongong, you're going to be about 21 degrees for you, and further up, Roma in Queensland, you'll be 35 degrees on Friday. Let's go to Saturday. That low offshore from Broome certainly deepens further. It could be named a tropical cyclone this weekend. Maybe next week. Keep up to date with the Bureau of Meteorology. They're the ones that officially give them the names. But you can certainly see there's a lot of low pressure up here driving in some heavy rain. Otherwise, the pale blue down here just shows a few showers around, and the red line further to the north. So places like Charleville, you're on the edge of that hot, humid weather, but you get down to Brisbane and it's certainly a cooler airflow coming off from like Norfolk Island where you've got a few showers. But the blue, that's only about 5-10 millimetres at the most for those areas. Okay, let's go into Sunday now. So we've got tropical lows all up here. This is the one that's the main focus. We've got a few showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms in the mix there for the western side. And similar story out here on the southeastern corner. We're seeing some showers, and 1 or 2 of those could be thundery as you get towards the end of the day. Showers off the Tasman Sea won't be quite as hot and humid for Brisbane, Grafton, Port Macquarie, Sydney, all the way down to Wollongong, basically. Also on Sunday, Port Lincoln, 28 degrees for you, and Mildura in Victoria, you're 26. Let's go into Monday now, and you can certainly see that storm off the coast of Port Hedland, well worth keeping a very close eye on. We've also got this low up here, not expected to be a tropical cyclone yet. At this stage, the modelling suggests it remains a tropical low and just tracks along towards Katherine and Darwin with a bit of rain. Dragging behind it, though, there is this humid easterly that's coming in from Townsville northwards, so Cairns certainly getting showers and thundery weather around, or maybe not too thundery, but certainly those heavy showers are in the mix. And plenty more showery weather carries on for the eastern side of Australia and the southeastern sides. It's a bit hit and miss down here, more so towards Victoria, although the western side, there's some good weather in here for those who need some rain. On Monday, Beauty Point, Tasmania, 23 degrees for you. Might get a shower. You can just see a couple of them showing up there. All right, Tuesday's the big day. Showers over here before we talk about the cyclone. Showers over here. Some of them could be heavy. Wagga, you got a high of 32 degrees. Heavy showers for Cairns, and we've got this low coming in with potentially 200 millimetres of rain there, just falling in one day. But let's go over to the western side of Australia. This is where we're expected to be as we go in towards the end of Tuesday. Now, we're still a number of days out, so don't lock this in, because it could still move inland more, offshore more, or it might weaken. It may not be as aggressive as this, but usually within this time frame, sort of 5 days out or so, you're starting to get it locked in a bit more. This does look serious. If this is coming in the way it's showing up at the moment, places like Exmouth, Onslow, they're going to be seeing some very damaging winds. The worst of the winds are in this zone right here, right in the middle. That's where you'll get winds so strong, lifting roofs, blowing down barns, power cuts, trees down, that sort of stuff. Further away though, places like Karratha, if it's tracking like this, you'll just get a little bit of rain and a bit of a breezy northerly, nothing too serious. But like I say, it could track further eastwards and suddenly you're in the thick of it. So this is well worth keeping a very close and serious eye on. The good news is it brings in a whole lot of rain for places that are very dry. So Wednesday the storm comes in, and if it comes in like this, loses the fuel and it starts to fall apart. Dumps all the rain, loses the wind. And so that's why you're starting to see rain really line up further to the south here. You've also got that other low here, tropical low, not a cyclone, around Katherine and Darwin, driving in anywhere between 100 and 200 millimetres just on Wednesday itself. Heavy downpours around Cairns and thunderstorms and isolated showers for the southeastern corner here. On Thursday, it falls apart, but you're still seeing some very heavy rain. That's the zone I talked about before, 100 to 150 millimetres falling on just Thursday, if it lines up this way. I have to keep repeating that because the way that it's coming in and the shape of Australia means just a slight movement west or east makes a really big difference in the accuracy of where this is tracking. And you can see that windy easterly carries on blowing for Western Australia, and over on the eastern side here, more of the cloud, more of the showers. The humidity pushes further up towards Mackay, giving even Rockhampton a bit of a break as that easterly comes in, although it's a bit more off the Coral Sea further north you go. All right, let's have a look at the place of the day. I mentioned this just before. This is Queenstown and Rosebery over in Tasmania. So I just wanted to show you this as we fly in over towards the airport here. Queenstown's in the valley here. Beautiful part of Tasmania. I'd like to visit this. This looks a lot like parts of New Zealand, the South Island of New Zealand in particular, but a really beautiful part of Australia. Thank you so much for joining us. Just by the way, lastly, 4 degrees tonight, as I mentioned earlier on. That's kind of cool. We are getting to that time of the year. Next week is the equinox on Wednesday, which means after that point, the nights get longer than the days. That's all from me. Have a great week ahead and a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.